This portion of the CU podcast is brought to you by Monk Pack. Monk Pack offers low-sugar, keto-friendly bars which are plant-based, gluten-free, and non-GMO. They're the perfect snack for anyone who's trying to eat better or cut back on sugar and carbs without sacrificing taste. Monk Pack Keto Granola Bars and Nut and Seed Bars contain 1 gram of sugar or less, 2 to 3 grams of net carbs, and each bar contains 150 calories or less.
Monk Pack bars have an amazing chewy texture and come in delicious flavors like sea salt dark chocolate, coconut cocoa chip, which is my personal favorite. I love this one. The coconut cocoa chip is delicious.
I love the sea salt dark chocolate nut and seed bar, but also the peanut butter dark chocolate. Oh, mwah.
Yeah, no.
I mean, when I was a kid, we had some of those granola bars that had like peanut butter and chocolate chip, but they weren't healthy. They weren't good for you. These are good for you, and they're delicious.
Yeah, they really do remind me of like the granola bars that you used to get in your lunch as a kid. They're great for a quick breakfast, a snack between Zoom calls, a guilt-free decadent dessert. They really do taste like that. By shopping online, you can avoid another trip to the grocery store and have Monk Pack delivered right to your door. These bars aren't just for people eating keto. They're a great snack for anyone looking to reduce their sugar intake while still enjoying delicious, flavorful snacks. They contain real ingredients that are delicious and nutritious for your whole family. In addition to being keto-friendly, the bars are also gluten-free, plant-based, and non-GMO. There's no sugar, alcohols, soy, or artificial colors.
Get 20% off your first purchase of any Monk Pack product by visiting monkpack.com and entering our code CU Podcast at checkout, or simply click the link below in the description and get 20% off. Monk Pack is so confident in their product that it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll exchange the product or refund your money, whichever you prefer. Again, get 20% off your first purchase of any Monk Pack product by visiting monkpack.com and entering our code CU Podcast at checkout, or simply click the link in the description below. Get yourself some yummy, yummy bars. Well, that was interesting, Ian. You want to talk about another collapse?
Yeah, we're swinging into the CU Podcast. This is the entree portion of the CU Podcast. So Intellivision broke their silence. Lot to cover here, but they sent out an email. Do we want to read through this entire email?
Oh, yeah, I believe we do, Ian. They sent out an email and also posted, I believe, on their Facebook group.
Greetings. It has been a while since our last official update.
It's been a while.
And I thank you for your patience. I hope that this update on the state of Intellivision will answer some of your questions and explain where we are and where we are heading. When I took over as CEO of Intellivision, this is written by Phil Adam, my goal in leadership required some tough decisions to ensure that we launch a quality product. We pulled down our investment campaign on Start Engine. I'm not going to stop and comment on everything. I have some things I want to comment on, but this in particular, so I don't forget it. Start Engine pulled the campaign down. You're a fucking liar.
They said they pulled it.
After it launched in February of this year without better visibility of the path to profitability, this was the right decision in the short term.
Oh, real quick. If you didn't have a visible path, why the hell were you trying to take money from more people?
Right.
Why?
Yeah.
Phil. If you admit that you had no path that was really visible at that point.
That means you didn't have one when you were asking for $5 million, and you certainly put it out there that you knew what you were going to do with those $5 million and get another $5 million too.
Yeah, we can get to that. Okay.
Yeah, we'll get into it. Any funds committed by Start Engine investors were returned in full. Of course, this required us to take other financial measures to make up for the foregone new investment. We have dramatically reined in operating costs, which unfortunately required a significant reduction in staff. Our resources are focused on engineering and testing to ensure we have a quality system, as we cannot succeed by producing anything less. Just a quick point. Focusing on engineering and testing means the system's not done and never was.
No,
we are.
And real quick, we didn't talk about the people leaving the company. People have looked at
because they happened so fast. It was just like we couldn't keep up with it.
Gatoroos on the Intellivision _ Reddit had like a chart tracking when people were leaving based on it, but they have almost no one left compared to like 6 months ago.
Right. We are working with game development partners to license Classic Intellivision intellectual property for publication on other platforms. These licensing deals will help fund continued development of the Amico. A broader distribution of Intellivision Classic IP will also help raise awareness of Intellivision while not directly competing with Amico because of Amico's unique controllers and family-friendly focused gaming adaptations. Many people in the retro gaming community have embraced us because of our family focus, and in fact that all of our games, including including retro titles, are adapted for group play. While Amico's broad catalog will continue to include retro titles, our mission has been and remains cross-generational in-home family entertainment.
Stop. We should have brought this up because there's so much here that's wrong and ridiculous.
So the first thing I would like to say is getting Intellivision games on other platforms to test the waters and see what the fucking reaction would be should have been fucking #1 on their list, and we have said as such multiple times.
The problem is, as we have stated, there is no interest in these Intellivision games by and large, which is why they didn't want to go down that path. They wanted to make their money on old cheap hardware and pump up the price and get the money that way.
He had to be a big boy CEO, and he couldn't start small. He had to jump right into the fucking deep end.
If you remember,
because Tommy Tallarico doesn't lose.
The Intellivision Gen 2 Kickstarter, we talked on the podcast several years back. Keith Robinson was still there. Rest in peace. He used to own all the IP. Mike Kennedy was involved in the Kickstarter. It was a remakes of Astro Smash and Shark on Kickstarter. You remember this? This was like 2014.
They did not look good. I think they were asking for a shitload of money, and it did horribly.
It made less than 10 grand.
Yeah.
It was bad. And that gave us sort of a key into what is the Intellivision audience out there in terms of the sizable market. We always said that, like, okay, this is about the interest of it, the amount of backers you're going to have, and also the amount of people on Atari age, coupled with the people that I have seen at conventions over the past 10 years having interest in Intellivision games. And hey, this is not a knock on people that are fans of Intellivision. In general, we love the people that have the booths that sell this stuff, that still do the homebrews. We love it. But the fact of the matter is, we are talking very small numbers of people that actively are still into these old Intellivision games.
And
that's the bottom line.
And if you want to see if these people are going to be interested in them, you can't charge them up front. If you're going to have the license and the business, you got to put in the fucking work. And they just wanted shit to magically come to them. You can't do a Kickstarter for it. You got to put your own money in, redo them, and see if people like them. You got to put them on a digital distribution service and see if people buy them. But you can't charge them. You can charge them for the game, but you can't charge them twice, essentially. You can't ask them for money and then ask them for the games again on a whim.
Plus, they already got their fill. Oh, okay. Say they came out with one of the better looking games that was close to being finished. Well, I don't know. The Missile Command looked like garbage. But say they came out with Missile Command and they put it out on the Switch. They put it out on Steam. They put it out on PlayStation 4, 5, and Xbox. I will be super generous and say that would get you $150,000 in revenue. I will be super generous in saying
sure.
It gets you 150 because like it ain't going to do better than the Atari Recharge games I've done because those games look beautiful. Asteroids is a lot better, well known than some of these other properties. Ian's alarm's going off on his phone. Sorry, he's embarrassed. But like, say all of those games, Ian. Say you get 10 games that do $100,000 in profit each.
Right.
That gets you to $1 million over time.
Yep.
That's not enough to do your fucking console.
Right.
That's not enough to finish not just the console itself and to get it engineered and to finish the firmware. That's not enough to do the back end. It's not enough to do the cloud. It's not enough to do the marketing. It's not enough to do anything.
Part of me feels like they did that. They didn't do that specifically because it would have given them the news they didn't want to hear.
Yes. That would have been the market research without the research part. That would have been, this market doesn't exist.
It would have been the market response. Yeah.
It was a market response. That was the bad news they didn't want to hear, basically. Okay. So yeah, you're going to raise awareness? No, you're not. You don't have these games aren't that in depth. You don't have a mascot people care about. These are games that have been by and large re-released either by name, like Missile Command, Recharge. There's a better Atari version, or they're games that you can be satiated playing something else.
For better or worse, and I'm going to go with worse. Tommy Tallarico's their mascot. I mean, he did that to himself.
Many people in the retro gaming community have embraced us because that's because our family. That's just bullshit. That's just bullshit.
Like 5 nobodies embraced you because they thought it was their way to fucking break big.
On YouTube. Yeah, it worked out. Okay.
We have begun a test production run of Amico that includes every aspect of the product, including packaging. This is first and foremost an assessment of our manufacturing approach and overall quality of the delivered product. It is critically important to show to our current, future investors, partners, and customers that we have built a sound platform that delivers on the in-home family experience, which requires our immediate focus on value engineering and hardening of the platform.
Meaning finishing the fucking design and
doing
the
it
firmware.
cheap. Because value engineering.
These units should be completed in the next few weeks. Okay, to me, what this means is they're going to put together by hand what they have laying around.
A few more demo units. Yes.
They're going to put together some more demo units. This does not mean that they're going to be running off a line in China somewhere and manufacturing this.
No, they can't.
It's not manufacturing, it's production.
It's test production. It's meant. This means making the dev kits, which I don't think ever truly happened.
Sure.
There's a few cobbled together. We are slow. Here we go. And I think this one ties into the last one for me. We are slowly processing refund requests. The public's uncertainty of our status in the last few months has understandably led to an influx of pre-order refund requests. Because of reduced staff and financing requirements for continued operation, this is fucking key. Our response to and processing of these requests has been delayed. Rest assured that our intention is a wiggle word, to honor all refund requests. We will allocate a portion of all new funding, and staff time to winding down the refund queue, while our primary focus is funding and completing a quality product ready for manufacturing. To make sure we see your request, please submit to support@intellivision.com. They didn't put your down payments into escrow. They blew all of your fucking pre-order money, and now they're telling you you're going to have to wait. They don't have the money to pay you back, but they're only going to use a portion of the funding money they get to pay you back, because you're fine waiting for your refund, right? This is where, like, every week it gets further and further. This is scam territory. They told you, they insisted that your refund was safe, your deposit was safe, and 100% fucking refundable. And then they have the fucking balls to say this shit. You may never get your refund. Intention means there's a good chance you're not going to get it. And where are they getting any more fucking funding from? They took your money, they spent it on fucking rich person CEO cosplay, they pumped up their egos, and then they fucking shit their pants.
Tommy Tallarico should never be allowed to do anything in the video game world ever again.
Ever.
The amount of lies, straight up falsehoods. He directly said multiple times, your money is refundable.
And you had the fucking balls for 3 years to insist we were the assholes.
Yeah. And all these, all the cultists said that this is a good news. Not everyone, but some of the cultists even said, well, it's good news. We're getting an email. They broke their silence. By the way, remember the bullshit reason why they said they were going to go into silent mode? Because they were courting a new investor.
Well, they don't have that.
They don't have that investor. And that investor will look at this and be like, wait a minute. You want my money to what? You want my money to fund refunds? That's a great sign that you have this technical, well, not legal debt, but technical debt of these refunds that is, that was supposed to be refundable. This is just terrible. And I don't want to get on like people's personal shit too much, but when you see and hear news of like Phil Adam going on a vacation, Tommy Tallarico a few times in the past year and a half after disaster showings of in public, went on vacations. He was posting pictures, traveling around. Whose money is that on? It's on people that pre-ordered it. And it's on
your deposits.
And it's on the investors that were lied to about the progress of this console. The console that was on the fucking launch pad that he said in that sleazy Neil Patel investment video in early 2021 that it was on the fucking launch pad, even though at that point it was already months behind schedule and there was no intention of that console coming out in October 2020. We know that. And they probably even knew at that point it wasn't coming out in the fall, even 2021. They knew. They had to have known. They're either gross incompetence or they're just straight up scammers. And at some point, Ian, it bleeds together.
Tommy 100% felt like if he just put this out into the world, the money would come to him.
Due to his
magical fucking thinking.
Due to his contacts in the industry, his people from Virgin Games back in the day and Interplay and all this stuff, that, this was just going to conjure itself up. And the naysayers be damned. And this is where we are. The intention to refund. We will focus our initial mass production on fulfilling pre-orders and supplying our two major distribution partners. Who do you still have? Are you counting GameStop? GameStop canceled all the fucking orders. Koch Media, probably in Europe. They're the main distributor in Europe. You can still
maybe Amazon. I don't know.
Amazon directly, but
the focus will remain.
I think maybe Best Buy Canada, maybe.
So they talk about 2 major distribution partners, but then they immediately in the next sentence go on to say the focus will remain on direct orders until our cost structure can support the margins required for retail channels. It's never going to be able to. Obviously, the markets continue to be somewhat volatile with rising inflation, rising energy costs, and lingering supply chain issues that affect all manufacturing businesses.
But somehow every other console has come out.
Playdate, Steam Deck, Analog Pocket,
Evercade,
Evercade, an Evercade console, and now a new Evercade.
It's going to come out, yeah.
This has impacted both our costs and pricing.
And Atari VCS got out, by the way.
Yeah.
That came out.
I mean, you're pricing this thing at a level that's absolutely, you know this is never going to sell. And it has required us to narrow our initial distribution strategy. Our hope is that you can basically, maybe you'll be able to buy one from someone in a garage at some point in the future.
Our hope is that we start shipping production units this year. Do they mean ones that are going to hand cobble together? Because we're already in June. And for what I know, you got to get these the production lines in China lined up several months in advance. This isn't something you can say, hey guys, start putting my console together next month. You can't do that.
This is shit we were talking about back when Tommy was still trying to hit the October 2021 release date. Talking about how, timing stuff out. They need to be on the production line by
several months before.
September, August, if they really hope to get these in anyone's hands this year. And I don't see that happening.
Oh no, several months before.
Yeah.
Due to the time it takes to ship these things over from China on top of it.
And then it closes out. Many challenges lie ahead for the business. No shit. And we appreciate our investors. Partners. No, you don't, because you didn't update investors. You didn't update Republic until 2 days ago. They hadn't received any updates in months.
The last update from before the June 10th update, January 10th, Tommy did an update for Q4 2021. 5 months in between updates.
Yeah.
Is that 6 months, Pat math? That's ridiculous.
So you don't give a shit. Don't try to lie and say you did. And if you gave a shit, you wouldn't have spent all of the deposit money.
Where's Holly's money with her dog in those comments? Holly was on the mark. She realized this is bad. This is bad.
We will be formally announcing some new IP licensing partnership deals soon. Great, because, that's all you ever did, as well as showing off the Amico units currently in production. These units will be shared with partners, investors, and a select few in the media. Probably us.
Oh, definitely.
Certainly us.
Yeah, they definitely won't just drop it off at IGN or GameSpot or like objective media folks.
Just like we're going to see the same. If they get this far, we're going to see the same shit we did last time, which is them putting it in the hands of people who are walked through the experience and will say nice things.
Yeah, it'll basically be like Crayola controlled events.
Yep. As more production units become available, we will broaden the distribution to media outlets that cover our target demographic.
Sure you will.
Thank you for your support, and thank you to our internal team and external developers that work tirelessly to create a family gaming experience on Amico that brings people of different ages and skills together in group play. Phil Adam, CEO. Gotta say one thing before we get into anything else. The clearest thing here is no mention of Tommy. What has Tommy been? I mean, what's he been reduced to?
He's not. He's gone. Obviously.
Yeah, I feel like he's just gone. I feel like this is no longer a Tommy Tallarico thing. I feel like he can probably still say he's president. He owns the Intellivision brand, but I don't feel like he's involved in the business at all at this point.
Oh no. Like I said, he was pushed out in the fall. It just wasn't known to everyone until January when I tweeted about it. Phil, I don't know much about Phil, but my guess is that Phil knows what a failure this is. But you know what? Phil doesn't have to care because Phil, from the last from the SEC filing, Phil's getting a damn good salary. I think it was upgraded over $200,000 if I remember correctly. Phil's getting paid to sit around and send out these fucking emails.
Yeah,
so he can do that, and he's getting paid well. Tommy got his salary. For a couple of years, at least 2-3 years, got a lot of his loans repaid. Not everything, but remember, if there's a bankruptcy hearing, people like Tommy and people like Nick, the CFO, they get first crack. And Sudesh with his loans, these are the people that get a crack at what the company's still going to have if they file bankruptcy.
Yeah, he got this letter out in between his morning shit and breakfast, and he hasn't thought about you since.
No, the fact that this is what we get after months. We get an awful unboxing of a beat up one-off box they had laying around with a handmade system there.
Misspellings, hand cut templates, fucking the wrong power adapter for a European system.
Yes, I guess they were trying to court European investors at the time. That didn't work out, obviously.
My guess was always that they were trying to get more Bavarian grant money.
Sure. I wonder what they think, the people in charge of that, if they're going to at some point be like, what the hell is going on? Or I don't even know what's going on with, Fig/Republic. If they're owed money as well, I believe, to a certain extent. So like the fact of the matter is, what I wanted to see from this, I'm not saying that this is ever going to be a good outcome. I would have loved to see something like, you know what? We messed up, and because of that, we're going to work for free on this until we make this right. Of course, that's never going to happen. Of course, you're never going to have Tommy say something like, since he's disappeared, he's gone from this. He's going to pretend this never happened somehow, because this is fucking shameful.
Because he's cowardly. He's a fucking coward.
It's just shameful behavior the past few years from a fucking adult that used to be involved in the game industry to a certain extent, and now has whatever
overstates their fucking importance.
Whatever goodwill they might have had in the industry is just dashed forever. But I would love to have seen, you know what, we messed up. We're going to put our own money into this. We're going to eliminate all any and all existing loans to ourselves on the board. And you know what? Maybe I'll put some of my more private money in. Maybe I'll sell my fucking Ferrari or my Spider-Man statue or this other shit and try to make this right. At least do that to get the money back to the people that are owed refunds, Tommy. Can you at least make that right? We know this isn't going to come out in any large shape or form, besides some handmade units we're going to see on some lower tier YouTube channels in order to get more business. Can you at least get the refund money back to people and call it a day? At least that wouldn't make a square. That at least show that you have some small version of a soul left when it comes to these things. That's it. And then you can't talk about this at all on the Intellivision Facebook group. It's not allowed to ask about where's my refund.
If you talk about the refund situation, it's bad vibes. It's bad juju. You're just bringing down what's supposed to be a good time.
Yeah. Real noble effort there on the Facebook group.
Just fucking slime balls all around.
Yeah, but you knew this is where it was going to end up.
Yes. What I would have liked to have seen is a little bit different than you. I would have liked to have seen just a bit more honesty here. We might get this many units out. Things are in a bad situation. We don't think we're ever going to get to main production. Please contact us if you want a refund. We'll get it back to you as soon as we can. And I feel like but
there's no money though.
I know.
Unless Phil said, I'm not taking a salary, and Tommy's not, and Nick aren't, and we're going to give some of our money back and make that a number one priority. There's no money there to do it.
I go back to a prediction I made ages ago. I think we might see a few of these hand cobbled systems.
I'll say 5
get out to people. And it's not, again, it's going to be, like I said, even if this does make massive manufacturing, I guarantee you there's not going to be a back end. It's going to essentially be an overglorified,
flashback?
Overglorified flashback. It's going to have fancy controllers, but what's on that fucking thing is all you're ever going to get.
Because they don't have the money for...
They don't have the money for a back end. They don't have the money for anyone else to finish their games.
Or support or customer service. Right.
And this is still me banking on the fact that what they said is true, which it isn't, that these games that the launch games are done. They're not fucking done. You're going to get half-baked shit in a fucking foot bath.
But even... What do you mean foot bath? It looks like a foot bath. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
They're racists. They're literally gaming racists.
I guess we can close on the fact that will the bankruptcy be next? I don't know. But the fact that we're going to get these updates because there's nothing else to say, there's never going to be good news. Unless someone comes in and say, hey, I got $30 million. I can take care of all your problems. They find some insane lunatic rich person that has the money to save this. And that's just to save it to get it out the door. It's still going to be a commercial failure. This is going to be it. I mean, if they haven't found an investor at this point, to save this. And they've been trying literally since 2019, the summer, from my source told me, is that's when the main investor pulled out. When they showed it at E3 at a hotel suite that they booked or hotel room. And the investor saw this and said, what the hell is this? And got cold feet. Best decision you ever made financially, by the way, sir or madam. After that, this has been a long sort of slog to find real money investors the past really 3 years at this point.
Take a fucking hint. No one thinks it's a good idea.
Yeah. And now you've wasted what's the word? $17 million has been wasted on this between remember that ARC got over $1 million. ARC manufacturing never manufactured. That's a waste of $1 million.
$1.5 million.
All the salaries, all the loan payments. Sudesh's got a fee for doing the loan, not even counting the money he's owed.
They still have to do that fucking $100 off of every system.
Sudesh might be picking the carcass of this if this goes to bankruptcy hearings. Sudesh might own Intellivision properties after this. It's nuts. You can't make it up, but it's all because of one person, Tommy Tallarico. There you go.